We didn't come this far to slow down now. Let 2021 be the year that you light up, that you wake up, that you shake up that special something in your soul, that you reach out and work for that health, that life, that vibrant living you know is possible. Let this be the year. Let this be the day. Let this be the moment that you believe in miracles again.
Everybody, it is Dr. Devin. We are back with If They Knew, and today I have a powerhouse of a warrior woman here on the show who is also joining us in just a few weeks in Wichita, Kansas for the big idea. She's many things, and she's going to fill us in on her story. It's Dr. Jessica Petras.
Perfect. So I'm so honored to be here, Dr. Devin. Thank you so much.
Guys, look at this background. She is in this beautiful cabin and taking time to talk with all of us. Now, what I love about this era of time that we are living in is that I have gotten to meet, and now this golden thread is being woven between all of us who just want to help humanity come fully alive, embrace the power of their own healing potential. And you have had quite the healing journey. So for the people who maybe aren't connected to you on social yet, but will be after this, tell us who you are, what you do. Give us the little 411 on you.
Well, hi, everyone out there listening. So I'm known as Dr. Jess online mostly, and I have a unique journey in that I'm a Western conventionally trained medical doctor. And I went to medical school. I won't give my age away right away, but I bought everything they gave me hook, line, and sinker in medical school. I drank the Kool-Aid. I got my flu shot every year. I ate the cafeteria food. I did all the things that regular doctors do. And what happened is back in, 2013, 14, there started to form cracks in the system for me. And that's because I was online. I was starting to blog and get online in social media. And there's all these radical posts online and claims made. But I had the background and knowledge and education to go research to see if some of that was true. And it ripped the blinders right off my eyes. And so, because I found that a lot of things people said did have relevance. And so I would go back to the hospital. As a hospitalist, I had to admit everything from the emergency department. I would go back and I would start complaining about the food in the hospital cafeteria. Or I would, complain or question why this patient was admitted with 50 different medications and why that was health. And the hospital team would sit me down, the hospitalist team would sit me down and say, you cannot work for us anymore if you don't stop being a disruptive physician. And I couldn't keep my mouth shut. So I quit. And what I found in the course of my journey as a hospitalist is that most doctors aren't happy. And when you get burnout, you start to treat patients as inanimate objects, and it's not okay. And I didn't want to live that as a legacy for myself. And that's not medicine that I could believe in.
So you guys can feel why this woman and I are probably going to get along really well, in that we're unafraid to disrupt a system that's not working.
Yep.
Because when at a foundation, you love people and you want people to get to feel what it feels like to truly be in a state of health and abundance. And you start to see these things, you can't unsee them. You can't unknow them. And you can't not sometimes call a spade a spade. And it's like, this is, so before we jump in, walk us through what that was like, because, you committed hundreds of thousands of dollars, your lifetime, you've taken this oath, do no harm, but here you see this and you're like, I can't do it this way. What was that like for you? I mean, that disruption in your own system, really?
A little bit like living in the twilight zone. And at that time, I started getting trained in Gerson therapy. I'm a Gerson therapy practitioner, and I started to do energy work with people. And they would say things to me like, your heart's out of alignment. your heart and your throat chakra are out of alignment. We can see it, and is it your work? And I'd say, yeah. And I just couldn't pull myself out of it because, I was lucky in that I wasn't married. I didn't have children. I just had my medical school debt. So I was lucky in that I could bounce and say, peace when I didn't align with something. And I feel like a lot of doctors can't do that. I got to be honest with you though, Dr. Devin, had I known what I know now, I probably wouldn't have jumped so quickly. And it was hard. Like you guys out there listening, there's not a ready-made system for natural doctors and naturopathic doctors and chiropractors. They have to learn some business and be business savvy and form their own business. There's not a ready-made system like medical doctors. So I went through that later in my career, trying to learn business trial by fire, because I jumped out of the ready-made system for me.
And that's why what we do is what we have done systemically is it's so well organized, right? You graduate, you enter a group practice or a hospital setting, and you comply by insurance standards, and you check the boxes. If this symptom, then this, and the pharmaceuticals, the pieces of the puzzle just flow really well. You got to give it to them. The system itself is very well organized, and it's why it feels pretty rough when you go, that's not the world for me anymore, because we're creating that actively actually right now, right? We're creating a new language around health. We're creating a new system of how a person is empowered in their own health decisions. And you had to live it. And then enters 2020, right? Which is giving us all this golden opportunity. And what called me to want to do this podcast, I would hear, if I had known then, or gosh, if people just knew these things. You've obviously picked up a lot of truths over the last few years, the hard way. Yeah. There's probably a lot of things you wish more people knew, but if you summed up one thing today in this episode, what's one of the major things that you just wish more people understood, that if they did, their health, their happiness would instantly change and be better?
There's two parts to this answer. The first one is that if we would turn away from the technological revolution and return to nature, that we would be able to heal ourselves. And that's the second part of the answer to my question, is that you can heal yourself, and that information should be empowering to you. Because if we're able to return and live as the universe, God, source intended for us, then we're going to be a lot healthier as humans.
So marry that road you came up on. What's that look like in practical application? If I'm coming to see Dr. Jess, which you guys, she has a stellar social, so you can go get a dose of Dr. Jess on social, and she's got moves too. This girl knows how to do all those, I love it.
Shuffling.
Dancing, there's medicine in dancing, by the way. We should take her lead and do more of that. Yes. But what does this look like? You had this box formula of how symptoms and ailments and diseases were treated. And then you go, okay, that's not working.
Yeah.
Themselves. Now, what's that look like?
It was kind of like cookbook medicine before, guys. That's what I like to call it, right? It's a recipe you follow. Right. And when you get into integrative or functional medicine, naturopaths have been doing this forever. So when you get into that root cause, finding out what the root cause of the problems are, not just labels, it's a little bit more of like playing Sherlock Holmes and investigating. And so if you come to see me, the first question I'm going to ask you is, did you have a happy and healthy childhood? Because how your childhood was formed, how your immune system formed, how you learned about the world is very integral to how you are shaped as an adult and how you deal with trauma as an adult. So I deal with the trauma aspect with you, and we go all the way through adult years, and from childhood to adult years. Then I ask, I start asking drainage pathway questions. And what that means is the emunctories, or the way the body naturally releases things that it's exposed to. Because by the time patients come to see me, your clients, they've already really reeled in their diet. And it's not that their diet is the problem. It's something else in their local environment that's making them sick. So I have a firm belief that if things don't go in and then out, people end up sick. It's when things stick and stagnation breeds disease that people come down with a chronic disease label. And so I'm going to see if your liver is functioning. I'm going to see if you can tolerate caffeine and alcohol and skipping meals and fasting. I'm going to see if your digestion is good, how many times a day you're going to the bathroom. Are you bloated? Do you see undigested food in your stool? I'm going to see if you have good energy. Are you sleeping all night but still not rested in the morning? Do you have good stamina? How's your mitochondria? I'm going to look at your bile. I'm going to look at all your sweat. Can you sweat? That's not normal to not sweat. And then if those things aren't working, we work from there. I get people in saunas or out in the sun, walk in the sun in the morning. I make sure you're able to get into parasympathetic mode before you can eat. I make sure that most people on my regimen are going to take a few rounds of binders to pull out all that's been exposed in your exposome, if you will.
Take us deeper into that, because I've seen you post about this, and this is a big one that I don't think maybe. I love where I'm from. I love being from the heartland. I am a country girl. I love Wichita, Kansas, and we, God bless our souls, are just a little bit behind the curve when it comes to things like this. So for somebody who hears that, I need to take binders. What's that mean?
Yeah, good question. Girl, I'm from West Virginia and Kentucky, so I know all about the small town country girl and how people aren't very so sure about that stuff. So not everyone knows what a binder is, and that's okay. They're probably my favorite supplement in the world. And you guys, when I say the names, you're going to be like, oh yeah, because it's things like activated charcoal or zeolite and bentonite clay. You may have heard of the clays before or charcoal before. And I actually love to use fulvic and humic acids too, which come from the soil and don't strip the body. I don't like to use commercial binders, which are things that are synthetic like cholestyramine. They don't work as well and they cause a lot of bloating and strip your nutrition. So I like to use things that are all natural for you, and they're molecularly sticky. So they're going to pull out things that don't belong there, like heavy metals or pathogens, if you will.
How surprised do you think people would be to know how much sticky, like icky, lingering things they have inside their system?
Well, this is how I'm going to make people understand. You guys probably raise your hand if you know anyone who's had their gallbladder out. Just about all of us are going to raise our hands with that. I do. I know 5 people right off the bat that are my friends. So what that means is their bile got thick and sludgy. Remember, stagnation breeds disease. And the liver makes the bile. The gallbladder is a little sac under the liver that stores the bile. And when the bile becomes thick with what makes it thick? Toxins. Pathogens, fat soluble toxins hide in the bile. And so when they are in there, they literally make the bile thick so it can't free flow. And then it forms stones, gallstones, which are the cause of cholecystectomies or removal of gallbladders. And that doesn't just happen with the bile. It can happen, our bowels can get stuck. Our liver, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is the most prominent chronic liver disease in this country. That's due to stagnant liver pathways and bile. It's extremely common, you guys. If you can keep your blood and your bile and all your fluids, interstitial fluid flowing freely in your body, that's the way to curb disease, if you will.
Don't you all want her to be your doctor? Like, I'm watching this big, beautiful, beaming ray of light and smiling, bright blue eyes, and she's talking about bile and fluids and interstitial, and I'm like, yeah, like, and so medicine and health can be fun and should be joyful, right? And knowing the way your body works. Talk to me about empowering patients to grab a hold of that responsibility, to know how things are working instead of walking in and saying, Dr. Jess, can you fix me?
Yeah, guys, I am not your guru. I'm your guide. I'm not your guru, and neither is your doctor. They're a guide that makes suggestions, and they work for you. You pay them, right? That's an important thing for people to know. And I want you guys to understand that a true doctor or a practitioner or a dossier or a teacher, they're going to be able to put it in such simple terms that a child can understand. A child can understand their body if taught properly. All of you can understand your body if your doctor is able to understand it enough to break it down. You all can understand. You all can heal yourself 100%. And so with that, I want you to we've been misinformed about the body. And so if you guys start to understand you have natural ways to get rid of things, you just need nutrients that build your DNA. And then you guys can learn from the right teachers, and you can go in your doctor's office armed with the right questions. If you're not you don't even understand the ballpark of the body, you're not even going to understand the right questions to ask at the doctor's office.
So if we take that one into tactical, because this is big, right? Health is a lifelong commitment and journey. The quick fix game is a total lie. It's a sham that a lot of industries make big bucks on because it's not out there. And all we can do is better, right? Like one of the anchoring quotes that I love is the doctor of the future is the patient. I love that you just said that. And Tony Robbins had that documentary, I Am Not Your Guru. That's it. I mean, there's so much power in getting that concept. We are your tour guides on this thing called life, right?
I love it. Yes.
Yeah. And so if people are like, well, where do I start? Are there any books or podcasts, or what are you putting in people's hands when they come to see you?
For sure. So I have a lot of educational courses. Actually, I have a drainage pathways course, which is a prerequisite if you were to join my app. Obviously, I give free information online all the time, so you don't need to join anything. But, if you were to join my app, I have educational videos that I teach people about, let's say, parasites or mold or environmental toxicities. And everyone starts with drainage pathways because I want you guys to know your body so well that when you get done working with me or educating with me, I can say, what's your weak drainage pathway? And you say, oh, hands down, it's my liver, or hands down, it's my lymph. I have cellulite all over my body, and all of those are connected because the body works as a whole. So, if you guys unstick your drainage pathways, most of the time people feel up to 50% of the way better just from that without any detoxes or binders.
If you are listening to this podcast right now, I need you to go to YouTube and you have got to tune into the video version because I have sat through, I don't know how many hours of anatomy, physiology, XYZ. I have taken so much continuing ed, my head could explode. And no one has ever made drainage pathways and the liver sounds so cool as Dr. Jess.
Yeah, I'll give you guys an example, right? So let's say, do you have the worst hangovers of your life? Can you only handle one glass of wine and you're down and out the next day? Are you sick really easily if you drink? How about if you have coffee in the morning? If you have 2 cups, are you kind of like a jittery tweaker? How about if I was going to ask you to water fast all day, maybe 24 hours? Would you be hangry and homicidal? You want to kill your husband? That's your liver, guys. Your liver's screaming at me. It needs to release some of that anger and frustration it's holding on to.
And so let's go visual here, and let's go big vision, airplane view. What would that world look like, right? Let's imagine we hand our children of today where they understand their relationship with nature. They understand that they have the power to shift their choices. And that if there's a symptom, it doesn't mean they're broken. It means that there's a warning signal saying, nurture this, love this, free this. What would that world look like?
Oh man, I want that world so bad. That's all I fight for is that world. We would be one. We would be collaborative. There would be no one that ruled over us as dictators because a healthy person is a sovereign person most of the time. And so I really look forward to that day when humanity is truly free from the propaganda.
How do you stay connected to hope that world is happening? Because it is, or we wouldn't be having this conversation, right? A lot of things have gone down over the last 14, 15 months, and it has not been sunshine and rainbows. And I'm more hopeful for humanity than I ever have been.
Same.
When you might get triggered by the old paradigms, grasping to keep things as they were, because we see that, right? The need for greed and control and outside in approaches, taking people further away from the truth that they can heal and be a sovereign, empowered human. What keeps you connected to health and freedom and hope for humanity?
This may sound a little silly, but it really is my radar sometimes when I pull back and I look at everything in a big picture view, is how much I've changed. How much I've changed, because really you want to change the world, you change yourself. So I myself am a good radar for what direction the world is going. And you yourself are a good radar. How much have you changed in the last 5 to 7 years? I mean, I'm like a different person. I should change my name. and you know, and that's the radar for you. And then I see it in other people. I see it. I know you do too.
Yeah. It's, it is the caterpillar butterfly thing multiple times over, right? Like, I mean, and the rapid expansion and transformation, it's happening faster than ever before.
And you guys,
that, yeah.
Yeah, apocalypse in Greek actually means to unveil. It doesn't mean the end of time. And so all of this stuff that seems horrible has been going on for years, right? It's just now being shown to you.
I saw Michael Beckwith. He had put something on social very early on in 2020 that was talking about people are afraid this is our apocalypse. And he said, it is. This is the death of what was to unveil, right? And so that's the party. That's the excitement. That's why when we come to something like the big idea, or we're on social media, we are talking about all the elephants in the room, and we're, calling out what is unjust and untrue and paving a way to the new, right? So what message to anyone listening right now, what would you say to them to kind of put a tool in their pocket as they take each step forward? What would your message to humanity look like in this time?
Don't outsource your knowledge. Your lived experiences are valuable and they mean something. And don't let someone talk you out of what you've seen with your own eyes, just because it's science, I should say. I mean, science created mercury fillings and DDT and cigarettes, right? So that's what science did. So don't forego your lived experience for something that someone says that is an authority figure.
And if we're not outsourcing, that means we're turning inward. That means that the activation of the intuition. So you just tossed the ball up for my next question. Can you speak to women with me for a minute? Because there is this, like, I have said since very early on, when the unknowns were coming in, there was like this rage boiling in women. There was this, like, there is something wrong going on here. The intuition was getting louder. And so when I look in my practice and I lay hands on the mothers and the grandmothers and the women in my practice, the young women in my practice, there's a lot of anger and fatigue and frustration, and they're taking on feels from everywhere. What would you say to women in the here and now to empower them? Because a lot of times they are the decision makers in their home. I mean, if we really want to change the world, you empower women, right? So what message to women would you put out there?
So remember why you came here. This is a really tough time to be a female. I think in history, there's been a number of times it's been hard to be a female. That's why I don't want to make any men mad out there, but sometimes it's why I think we're the stronger sex, is because it's very difficult to be a woman, to lead the household, to raise the next generation, and to see a lot of the toxic patriarchy that's been perpetrated for years now in society. And so I want you guys to know that you're here for a reason. You have a very strong role, even if society doesn't put you on a pedestal right now. You certainly will be and are. And please keep doing what you're doing, ladies. I've been very proud of the feminine lately because they are the ones bringing the men to health. They are the ones leading the charge. So if you're struggling right now, please know that there is a rainbow at the end, and there's always a silver lining, and that there are blessings that come in disguise that way.
And it is this, if you look at the star view of all of this, of the age of Aquarius and the re-leveling of the feminine, it's not better than, less than. It's just that we've been really out of harmony for a long time. We swung way too hard into masculine overdrive, into hustle, into yang energy, right? And so it enters the yin, so the call to action, women, is to trust your gut, trust your intuition, embrace your knowing, and don't be afraid to speak up. And I love that.
Use your voice.
So graceful with yourself as well. Now I'll say message to practitioners. Because one thing that you and I shared a conversation on when I asked you to come to the big idea, and one reason I can't wait to hear you share, is you said the division's got to stop. This is not about leaving allopathy. This is not, the doctors aren't bad. We want the oneness. We want the doctors to feel welcome in this, like, we need them. They're good people. You entered medical school. All doctors usually do, because they want to make a difference and love on people. So what message to practitioners, and probably particularly allopathic practitioners, would you share?
So first of all, I'm going to say it again, the division has to stop. If you're talking down to my chiropractor and naturopathic traditional Chinese medicine friends, it's unbecoming and it looks bad on you. And really, it doesn't taint them in the least. A lot of things that I've learned have come from those practitioner friends of mine. So I respect them greatly. Also, I would have you, especially if you're a MD, I would have you pause in your very busy life between wife, husband, kids, and working so many hours on call, and sit in silence and ask yourself how your life feels. How does your life feel? Does it feel, are you satisfied? Is it what you thought it was going to be in medical school? Is it all you dreamed of? Are you happy? Do you feel like you're working in your life's mission or dharma? And if you're not, what keeps you there? Or is it fear? Is it fear that you won't make enough money? Is it that you have financial ties to your family? How do we work that out so you can be happy? Because part of what's wrong with medicine is that doctors are miserable.
We'll just drop right there. And it extends into the people running the clinics and the insurance. Like, I mean, man, sit at a table with people running Blue Cross. They're not happy people.
No.
Like, they're not enjoying running a system, So, I mean, again, these are the things that the only way out is through. We're going to have to navigate this, as there is a way to let the fracture heal by stabilizing it and making it anew. So I mean, you are a testament to the transition that can happen.
And I'm so much happier now. You guys can do that. If you're a doctor out there listening, you can do that. And you should reach out to my chiropractor and my naturopathic and Chinese medical friends, because they want to teach you. They want you to come and work with them.
There's going to be some humility in this road. Yes.
There should be.
The surrendering of some ego has got to happen. But I feel the hope on you too, right? And that future world of empowering people and guiding them instead of sitting at the top of the pyramid, so to speak.
White coat supremacy.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's it keeps people in victim mode, which is one of the greatest lies of all time. I mean, unless I can remember with my mom in her cancer journey, and she had bladder cancer, and they were like, well, you need to stop smoking, and which is true. But there was no addressing anything else. It was like, just take this chemo and we'll fix it. Yep. We're going to take out your bladder and do these radical surgeries, and then we'll fix you. And it's like, no. We have to talk about the trajectory of the life decisions that created the disease in the first place.
No, it's just in your genes. Wink, wink. That's what they tell you, which is a lie. Yeah.
You're gonna inspire a new thing in this podcast of like, there's another mic drop moment with Dr. Jess.
I'm glad I could be of service.
Doctors miserable, white coat supremacy, and say that last one for me.
The which one? The white coat supremacy?
Just now. Oh my gosh. The gene.
Yeah, it's just in your gene. Right. Yeah. Well, that's a partial truth. It's in your genes once you get a chronic disease, maybe, but what changed those genes?
Well, and it doesn't that put people in a prison that there is no escape?
Yeah, I tell you, all of America needs to clear the victim, perpetrator, rescuer triangle, and we'd all be healthier for it.
I feel like we're gonna have so much fun together when we're in Wichita together, and you're on that panel with me, because there is a way to navigate this with smiles. And it's like, man, it's so obvious once you see it. And that's the like thing that keeps me up at night and wakes me up in the morning is I just want more people to know what's possible.
Same. We are soul sisters, my dear. I just want a different world.
And it's happening. And so then there's the patience factor. So we need to have some fun along the way. I have a feeling we could go like this for a long time.
Yeah.
For now, if people want to connect with you, how do they find you?
If I have layers to this. So if you guys are looking for a plethora of free information, I'm pretty active on social media, like Dr. Devin said. So mostly Instagram, which is Jess MD. There, I'm also on Facebook. And then if you guys want extra upgraded levels of my attention, then I also have my website, drjessmd.com. There's FAQs there that you guys submitted online and I answered on my website. I have a whole how to use binders, and it's called Kill Bind Sweat. It's my trademark protocol. So if you guys want to know what that is, I have a whole FAQ over on my website about that. And then the highest tier of my attention is my app, and it's Wellness Plus at app.drjessmd.com. And we have educational videos, webinars. I do root cause PDFs. We have a whole store and we have a community forum. So deuces, Facebook.
Oh, that's it. That's it. And more people are taking things that way because it's toxic. It's not serving us. So it's not that this guy is bad. It's what we're doing this. And I love that Gary Vee says that. It's like that, it just is exposing who we already were. And so we need to just choose better with these things. So I will make sure that we have show notes with this. And guys, be there with us on June 26th in Wichita. And Dr. Jess, I have to say, I was pretty angry after the journey I went through with my mother. Angry, quite frankly, with allopathy and its approach to life. And it is women and men like you that I've shared this kind of conversation with, that I am healing my own triggers and trauma, that the road ahead is with all of us and acknowledging what's been wrong. So thank you for restoring my hope in humanity.
Oh, I'm happy. I'm so looking forward to meeting you, giving you a big hug in person and hanging out and vibing out. So thank you for having me on.
Yes. We're going to dance the night away, guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing in a conversation like this. I hope you can tell that if you need more information after this, we covered a lot of ground. Yeah. We talked about allopathy. We talked about binders. We talked about binders. We talked about taking control. We talked about all the fluffy, hopeful ideas and big visions we have for the future. But if you want more, go tap into her. Get more on the show notes. Come play with us at the Big Idea because we love you. And we're all in this together. So if we can help you in any way, we're here. I love you. And Dr. Jess, I can't wait to wrap my arms around you.
Yay! Thank you for having me. I love you. Thank you so much for listening, everyone.
We love you. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Well, what'd you think? Thank you so much for investing your time and your energy to share in the conversation on this episode of If They Knew. The whole vision was to invite some of my favorite storytellers, mentors, teachers, and guides that inspire me to live healthier, to live happier, to live more free, more authentically me. I hope that something they said, something they shared, opened up a little piece of you that had been there all along and just needed a little nudge to remember. If you have any feedback, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to post it in the comments or reach out to me directly. If you know somebody that you think would make us a good interviewee, send me your suggestions. You are the reason, you are the motivation for this podcast, for these conversations. If you really want to crank up the light in your health and life, be in Wichita, Kansas, and join us for the Big Idea on June 25th, 26th, and 27th. We're going to blow you away with speakers from all over the country who are going to elevate the game when it comes to what it means to live vibrantly alive. This is the community you've been looking for. Now, there's big work to be done. And if we want to see change in the world, we've got to start with ourselves. So I hope that this episode and the different things I share on social media and the events that we host help bring it all together. I love you. I appreciate you. I am so, so very grateful for this space and for you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'll see you soon.